Good morning, everyone. So it's been kind of a frustrating morning trying to get set up to work on the truck again, trying to find where I put things when we packed up in quartzsite. Since I didn't expect to be selectively taking things out, I figured we'd be at our buddies in Texas and taking everything out. So a lot of stuff I'm having trouble finding, but yeah, we'll get there. So what I'm starting with now is cutting the covers for the ramp doors. So I have the first one cut and fit to shape, fit to size, whatever you want to call it. The other side is just sitting here, so my next step is to measure it and cut it down and make it fit as well. So that's where I'm at, and I'll bring you back when I have this one done. Okay, well that's going to wrap it up for today. This has got space for my hinge, plus the 1/4 inch for welding the top leading edge. The bottom here looks good to me. The bottom on that side somehow looks long to me. I measured it quite a few times too, but I think that one will end up getting trimmed another 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. But it's not going to happen today. We've got a dinner appointment tonight with our tenants, dinner date. Try out the new patio, and there's no rush on that. I have it basically to size, so I'll wait until I see how it's coming together before I decide if I'm trimming it more or not. Anyway, so that's where I'm at, and I'm going to wrap up today, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Another day working on the truck, now that we're back out in the desert again, or in the national forest. So let me explain what we're doing here, because we're making a change. Our open storage in the center here, or not open per se, it'll have a lid on it. When I put these pieces in, use a different finger, my intent was that I was going to hinge this lid front and back. And I've had people talking to me and different thoughts and ideas and things, which I really appreciate because it helps me sort things out. That opening front to back is going to be more difficult. I'll have to move the camera, do different things if I want to get into it. So we've decided instead of opening front to back, we're going to open side to side. So we're going to be hinging on the edges and the seam down the center. So we're going to have to build a support down the length of the lid to help carry that so it doesn't sag. And now I'm going to be bringing this edge in closer to the hinge, because this will be a hinge here now instead of hinging here. And I'm not going to grind this out to bring it up to support the end, so we're going to create a V-notch in here to carry the load front to back on the lid. So what I'm doing right now, I'm starting to clean this up so that I can add another piece in here and bring it out closer to this edge. So it'll be near the hinge. I'll also have to figure out where to buy another piece of hinge that matches the one I already have, because I won't have enough to do 2 long hinges. I only had enough for 2 short hinges. Or find 2 completely new hinges that match. But that's what I'm working on right now. Seems out here we have wind every morning, which makes it not real conducive to welding. But I can do all the prep work in the mornings, and then the wind seems to die off in the afternoon. So I can do other work in the afternoon. My front and back walls I need to pull out. They're rusting pretty good just sitting. So we need to get our cleaning pad out, clean those up, get the rust off them, just paint them. Then after they dry, they can go back in. The bottom has not rusted too bad. I'll have a little bit of cleanup on it, and then I think we want to try to paint it so that it doesn't rust. Because that one will take a whole lot more work to try to prep, if it does. And then once the sidewalls are all cleaned up, we can paint them, we can mask and paint them as well. So that's what I'm working on. That's the change that we're doing. So I'm spending the morning grinding, trying to bring it down to a square corner, and we'll go from there. Okay, for right now, the bulk of the cutting and cleaning and sanding is done. So now I've got my pieces. I got to trim the lengths, but I can start getting these pieces put in and welded. I can weld up this seam across here on both sides. I've got this piece built and ready to go in, and it's cleaned. This filler piece. So I think our next step now is going to be welding. We'll get that stuff in and done. Then we can take these covers off. We can look at these seams down inside here, starting to close these holes on the ends, cleaning that stuff up and wrapping up the trays. I think that'll be a good call. Then we'll have some painting to do. I'd like to look at this tray, but I don't have my saw because it's in Texas. So I got to see what I can do without the chop saw and trying to do accurate cuts. I've got the doors for the ramps, but I can't build the structure underneath it because I'm not comfortable with the quality of my cuts with just a cut-off wheel. I really want to have the chop saw for that. So after that, I don't know, we might move up to this sheet, start cutting the pockets in it, figure out where they're at, lay them out, get them cut. And we can always pull everything off the front and get in and start redoing, grind out and redo those welds. So lots of work to keep us busy for a while, even without a chop saw. So all right, I'll start working on that and I'll bring you guys back as I make more progress. Well, it was kind of a slow day today. We started getting things tacked in and welded in. We've got our skins down, mostly welded on the outside, down the sides. Top's tied in. Bottom's starting to get welded. We got the top of the trays welded on both sides. We got our filler pieces put in and our corners done, and this all welded, so that's all ready to sand. Tomorrow we can work on this side. Down here, get it in the same location, as we have holes that need filled in on both corners. Can't really see that one, but it's there. Anyway, so worked on that. Started drilling for the pockets for the front sheet. So I'm assuming that, there they are, assuming those holes show up. Now I know they will. So we can start cutting those out. We marked our 1/4 inch plate so we can cut it for the 2 additional pieces I need for the recessed pockets. And we'll go from there. These are all punched, so those can be small drilled tomorrow. And with that, we're calling it a night. It was warm today. Said it was only 77, but it felt more like 90. I was dying. Frosty, you're caught on a rock. Literally, you're caught on a rock. Silly cat. Alright, well that's pretty much all we did today. We're going to do a fire tonight, making some ribs, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, March 1st. Time to give you guys an update. We're still out here in the desert, still working on the truck. Try and do what we can. Still no permit for the rental house, for the fence to get it put back in. So we are still waiting on and on hold. Good news. This is the last of the big holes that I need to drill in the deck of the truck. At least for now. The last 3.5-inch hole. There will be a couple of smaller ones up front for the pockets, for the flag poles, but those will either be 3 1/8, or 3 1/4, depending on what happens when I get to that point. That won't be till Texas, because the saw that I need to use to cut all that stuff cleanly is in Texas. So I'm thinking what's going to happen today, we're going to finish that last tie down and get it in. We have all the rear ones now put in. We've got the welding completed back here on the deck and on the trays for the ramps. A lot of cleanup to do on those. May happen here, may happen in Texas. I don't know yet. What I think is going to happen this afternoon is I'm going to slide this stuff back. I'm going to move the e-bike and the tables and pull that sheet of plywood in the toolbox off. And then we're going to start working on redoing those welds on the structure for the deck up front, so that is done. Supposed to have another windstorm coming in today, so that'll be a good day to get that all prepped. Tomorrow I can start grinding on it and then re-weld it and clean up some of the underneath welds that didn't get done previously. And then from there, the other thing I'm going to do is measure. I've got the tie down started on this sheet, the pockets for them. I've got 2 more to put under that edge. I'm going to work on that today, get those drilled and cut. And the plates welded on. Probably flip that sheet over so I can weld the top side. Get that stripped. And then we may cut this sheet to fit in there. I doubt it, because there's other work that's got to be done before I can set it. So I'm thinking I'll probably be putting the plywood back on, putting it back down, strapping all this down. That should wrap up next week. That'll be the work you guys see next week. And then hopefully head to Texas, have a permit. So this is where I'm at and what I'm working on today. I will bring you guys in tonight to see where I've got to and wrap up this week's video. And then we'll do a video next week on what we do on it and putting it back together. Hopefully something on the fence, an update, and then hopefully heading for Texas. But we'll see how everything goes. I'm basically hostage to a permit at the moment, and the slow permit process for Yavapai County for getting the fence put back in and replaced. So trying to make the best of it, trying to have something at least happen. We're good camped here for another week, and then our 14 days is expired. It expires a week from tomorrow. Today's 6 days we've been here. So we'll either have to move back into Thousand Trails if we don't have a permit and can't leave yet, or we will move to another 14-day area and set back up and do it again. So anyway, I'll keep you apprised. I'll bring you back this afternoon to see how far I get today. Okay, another quick update. I'm laying out this side for these pockets, and it occurred to me that I think I measured the cutout for those pockets wrong. So these pieces are a 1/4 inch narrower one direction than they are the other. So I measured, and when I cut these holes, the square hole for the pocket is 6 inches long, 5 3/4 inches wide. And I'm pretty sure, I won't know till I flip it over, when I cut these ones, I think I cut them 6 inch by 6 inch. So they're a 1/4 inch wider than all the others. I am not going to replace that sheet over it. It is not worth it. So that's part of what happens when you don't stay continuous working through something and you stop for a month or more and then try to pick it back up if you make minor mistakes. These ones are going to match. Those ones, if you look close, it's only 1/8 of an inch on each side. If you look close, you'll be able to see it, but otherwise nobody will ever notice. So if you get a chance to come see the truck and look at it, will be the front pocket here, and see if you can spot the difference in the other pockets. Anyway, made a mistake, just realized it, wanted to update you guys. Nothing critical. It's not a big deal. It's just a minor flaw, but it is what it is. All right, I'm going to keep going. Okay, well, the winds are starting to come in fairly strong now for the day. It was dead calm earlier. But so this is where I got to. I've got these pieces cut and clamped, ready to weld, but I'm not even going to try it in this wind. So that'll likely be tomorrow. For tonight, I think we're going to just shut it down and call it a day, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. For you guys, it'll be next week. So from Cottonwood, for right now, we're out, and we'll see you next week.